About is for me. Hunger is for me. Yeah.
She's sharing through YouTube.
Why not you doing yalla kullum taɓa min laptop can mu kwashi presentation ne yalla kullum taɓa min laptop can mu kwashi presentation ne yalla kullum taɓa min laptop can mu kwashi presentation ne yalla kullum taɓa min laptop can mu kwashi presentation ne hello yalla kullum taɓa min laptop can mu kwashi presentation ne hello okay na gani I'm checking hello okay na gani I'm checking na nake wai sai ha da sa masu
It's live.
na nake wai sai ha da sa masu
It's live.
am I editing this Please come if you can see the messages. Am I editing this?
May I request all those outside to come in because the proceeding is going to commence now. Please request all those outside to come in. We'll be commencing the proceeding right away. Thank you. Please come in. We are going to commence the proceeding now. And those who are sitting far behind, please you can do well and cover these open spaces around. Yes, we want to bring people to come forward so that we can cover these open spaces around. Those who are sitting far behind, thank you very much for your people. Please those outside, kindly come in. We are commencing the proceeding now. Thank you. Now, before we take the opening prayers, I would want to use this opportunity to welcome to the high table the dignitaries among us. And I would want us to really appreciate our dignitaries that can uphold their neck and the respect for each year, please. I would like at this moment welcome to the high table the chief host of this occasion, ex-annual conference of the Faculty of Education and Senior Services, Usmanu, Danfodiyo University, Sokoto. Our father, and the Vice Chancellor of Usmanu, Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, Professor L.S. Bilbis, heavily represented by our father, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Professor M.G. Mahuta. Please let's jam our hands together as he takes the seat. Halim, please come around here. Thank you. I would like at this point, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome. You're welcome. I would like at this point, welcome again the very personality that has taken the seat to represent the Vice Chancellor in his own capacity, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Professor M.G. Mahuta. You're welcome, sir. Let me also welcome the Acting Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, who is also the Deputy Vice Chancellor Research, Innovation and Development, to the high table in person of Professor Yusuf Saeed. I don't know if the registrar is around or his representative, but I would like to use this opportunity to welcome to the high table the registrar, Usmanu Danfodiyo University, Sokoto. Let me also welcome to the high table the host of this occasion, and indeed the dean of the Mother Faculty of Education and Station Services, to the high table in person of Professor M.A. Yushawu, who doubles as the president of MAN. At this point in time, I will want to use this opportunity to welcome to the high table the university librarian or his representative in person of Dr. A.K. Nuhu. To the high table, please. I saw him somewhere around. Let me also welcome to the high table our keynote presenter of this great conference of our own faculty, in passing of Associate Professor M.A. Jumare, all the way from Ahmad Bello University, Zaria. The one and only university after Usmanu and Danfodiyo University, Sokoto. You're welcome, sir. I believe he will concur with that even when he comes to speak. At this point, also, I will want to welcome to the high table our very own, our father, who happens to be the lead paper presenter in this August gathering, the person of Professor A.A. Balarabe, the Chief Librarian for University Burning Kebbi. Please, you're welcome. Let's jam our hands together for him. Please, can you give him his tag and take him to the high table? I will want at this point also welcome to the high table the former Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics of this great university, and our very own father, to the high table, Professor A.A. Bagudo. Let's jam our hands together for him. Thank you, please, to the high table, sir. My attention was just drawn to the title I give to our lead paper presenter, Professor A.A. Balarabe. I addressed him as a chief librarian. Please, I'm very sorry. You know, it's not my field, but it's a university librarian of Federal University, Burning Kebbi. Let's jam our hands together so that we can clean that scene. Please, I'm very sorry, sir, for that wrong nomenclature. Thank you, sir. I will want to welcome to the high table our very own, very own, the pioneer Vice Chancellor of Shehu Shagari University of Education, our very personal one from the Faculty of Education and Extension Services, to the high table in person of Professor M.U. Tambol. Mr. Chairman, let me inform you that the Vice Chancellor is not only the Vice Chancellor, but he's a traditional title holder. Oh, I think 2 or 3 traditional titles, but I will not want to mention them so that I will not make mistakes. I know that is Zarumai. You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Yes, okay. Thank you, sir. I want at this point, the chairman, chief host and host of this occasion, welcome to the high table our father, the immediate past father of the faculty, the immediate past dean of the Faculty of Education and Extension Services, Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, in person of Professor A.K. Tukul. You're welcome, sir. He is our father, old but not tired. He is doing a great exploit in the field of academics. You're welcome, sir. At this point in time, I will also want to have the Director Appellate Program of Usmanu Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, who doubles as the Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Education and Extension Services, as well as double as the local LOC chair of this great conference, to the high table in person of Professor M. Inua. Thank you. Please let's jam our hands together for him as he actually takes his seat. Thank you, LOC chair. You are doing a great work. The host, sir, we have amongst us also, and perhaps let me use this opportunity to say that this actually gathering is blessed with great dignitaries. So we have amongst us The host, sir, the chief host and the host, as I was saying, that this August gathering is blessed with great dignitaries here amongst us. And indeed, it's a blessing. And that goes a long way to show that this is a conference of the only faculty. Perhaps, lest I forget, Mr. Chairman, you know that in Usmanu Danfodiyo University, there are only two faculties. Faculty of Education and Extension Services and others. So every other faculty falls under others. So this is a great gathering. I would want to use this opportunity to welcome to the high table our very own mother, the immediate past Commissioner of Social Welfare in Sokoto State, our very own Higher Education, Sokoto State, our very own mother, Professor Mrs. A.M. Isa MIF. Please let's jam our hands together for her as she takes her seat. In this, my very own list, sir, I will also welcome to the high table the immediate past provost of Sheikh Shagari College of Education, our very own, a member of the faculty by extension, in person of Dr. Wadata Hakimi. In fact, it's not by extension, it's a member of the faculty because his 50% is in the faculty. It's only the remaining 50% is in the college. So you're welcome, sir. And I understand he's also a title holder, but I wouldn't want to mention the title so that I will not actually make a mistake in mentioning his traditional title. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. Let me also welcome to the high table here our father, the former dean of the faculty, our very own father, the father of all, to the high table, Professor M. Chakaba. You're welcome, sir. I would want to welcome also our very own, a friend to all students in the faculty, in the person of Professor S.D. Manga, to the high table, please. You're welcome. Let's join us together for him. At this point, yes, thank you. Please take a seat. At this point, I want to recognize and welcome to the high table, Kallabi Tsakanin Rauna. You know, Faculty of Education is blessed with a lot of mothers at the professorial cadre. So I want to welcome to the high table our very own, the former head of Department of Science and Vocational Education, in person of Professor Mrs. R. Muhammad. She is a mother of all. You're welcome, ma'am, please. May I also invite her very close friend, whom they are sitting together 5 and 6, also a mother of all in the faculty. You see why I call them mothers? Even if you shout at a student, immediately you say, wow, they will run to them. And the next available minute, you will see their call. Hey, doctor, are you in the office? So they are mothers of all. They are playing a very great role in the person of Professor Halima Abubakar. Please, let's join hands together. You have a seat here, man. You know your children are watching you. So you have to come so that they will see you very well. Thank you very much for coming. Members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen, I will want to use this opportunity to welcome and acknowledge members of the local organizing committee here present. Please, you might not have to come up, but just wait so that we welcome you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I also want to welcome members of other committees that are playing a very great role to the success of this conference, too numerous to mention. We have so many subcommittees, and they are playing a very, very great role. You are all welcome. Please, can we web? We are all part of them. Thank you very much. Let me also welcome all of us who are here to participate in this great conference. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I will want us to jam our hands together for all of us. We are all highly celebrated, and you are highly welcome. Thank you for finding time to come. Kindly please let me know if there is any other dignitary within the hall that I have not introduced, so that I will do that in due course. Meanwhile, having done that, may I invite is Professor Y.M. Kamar in the house? Is he in the hall? Okay. At this point, may I invite Malam Nuhu Ishak to come and give us an opening prayer. Malam Nuhu, please come to the podium and give us an opening prayer. Please, a very, very, very serious observation. According to our proceedings, my attention is drawn that we need to take the national anthem before we give the opening prayer. So, Malanu, please hold on just some 2 minutes. I will want to beg your indulgence, the chief host, sir, the host and members of the high table, as well as the entire participant of this great conference, to be in standing position as I request our ICT to please play the national anthem for us. ICT, are we set?
Yes, yes, sir.
Preparation. They are preparing us. Thank you, and we can have our seats. Thank you very much. Alan Shak, please can you come for opening prayer? Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم جمل امرنا ما احييتنا وعافنا ما ابقيتنا وبارك لنا فيما حولتنا واحفظ علينا ما اوليتنا وتفضل علينا اذا حاسبتنا ولا تسلبنا الايمان وقد عرفتنا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you very much for that wonderful opening prayer. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me once again request all of us that are sitting far behind to kindly come forward and occupy these empty seats in front. This is because this program is being covered live, is being live streamed all over the world. I want to assure you that, you know, and cover these spaces so that we will be seen well, and then we'll project the university very well. Thank you for your wonderful obedience. Thank you. I also cited my elder brother, the director of distance learning, in person of Professor Muhammad Ibrahim. Please, let's recognize him and appreciate him. Where is he? I saw him, but I cannot find him now anymore. Yes, thank you, sir. You can come forward, sir. Yes. I wanted to see you so that you can come forward. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. The chief host, sir, and the host of this occasion, at this point, I would want to hand over this mic to the host for a welcome address. Yes. Before he comes, we have noticed the arrival of our father, Baba. We call him Baba, so sometimes we forget the prof there. Professor Baba A.A. Salau. Please, you're welcome, sir. Can you come up and take a seat? We also recognize the presence of the immediate past university librarian of the Sokoto State University, in person of Malam Mabera. Please, can you wait so that we can see you? Thank you very much for coming, please. Yes, we have some seats here, even if it is in front here. Please come forward, sir. Thank you very much. Let me call on the host of this occasion for a welcome address. The Dean, Faculty of Education and Extension Services, who doubles as the President of MAN, the new crown President of MAN, to come and give us a welcome address. Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Vice Chancellor Usmanu Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, heavily represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academy, Professor M.G. Mabuta. The former BBC academic, Professor A. Bagudo, the Vice Chancellor, University of Education, Professor M. Tambua, the lead paper presenter, Professor A. Balarabe, the keynote address, Professor Jumari, my elder brother, Professor Ketukur, whom I received the mantleship from him, the only MFR, the only woman MFR, Professor Aisha, my teacher, Professor Salau, my brother, the provost, immediate past provost, my professor, Manga, who received a professorship the same year. Yes. And who's next there? I'm not seeing properly. Okay, Professor Jagaba, also my mentor, Professor Salau, also my teacher and mentor, and my deputy dean, and also the former media past University, State University. It is with great pleasure that I welcome everybody present here to the Annual National Conference of Faculty of Education and Extension Services. Precisely, I have served as LOC chairman for several years under the leadership of Professor Emi Campbell and also Professor Eke Tuko. And now my junior brother, Professor Awal, is serving as the LOC chairman. This year's theme is cultivating impactful pedagogy in the post-COVID era of sustainable education. Erudite scholars have been identified to give both the keynote and the lead paper. It is envisaged that the intellectual discourse will result in future collaborations between and among educationists in research. It is true, COVID-19 served as an eye-opener to us. Now it will be time to have a sustainable pedagogy in education. I sincerely hope this gathering will equip us with digital skills, critical thinking, and perhaps what we call media literacy. That will improve our pedagogy. I wish the conference a beautiful deliberation. I would like to congratulate the organizing committee for their tremendous efforts in organizing the conference. Finally, I sincerely thank the Vice Chancellor and his lieutenants for their usual assistance by providing us with a befitting venue for the conference opening ceremony, a bus, accommodation at University Justin, and other things. And not to waste much of the time, I would say long live Nigeria, long live Usmanu Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, and long live Faculty of Education and Extension Services. May Allah bless everybody, and thank you for coming. I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you, the host, our dean, for that wonderful welcome address. At this point in time, I will want to invite our father, the Vice Chancellor of this great university. Of course, you will agree with me there are only two universities in Nigeria, Usmanu Danfodiyo University and others. This is a fact, substantiated one. And if you like, later you will come so that we can prove it to you statistically, using teachers ANOVA and ANCOVA. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, our father, heavily represented by our own very father, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Professor M.G. Mohuta. It's time for your welcome address, and thereafter you declare the conference open. Thank you. Please, let's jam our hands together very powerfully for our father. Very, very powerfully. You're welcome, sir. Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad ibn Abdullah wa Rasulah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. The chairman of the occasion, the former deputy vice chancellor, administration and academic, because the MC was saying former deputy vice chancellor academic. He doubled as former deputy vice chancellor administration and academic, Professor A. Bagudo. The Dean, Faculty of Education and Extension Services, the former Dean, Faculty of Education and Extension Services, the former head of Department of Educational Foundations, Professor A.M. Madawaki, my teacher, my mentor, my supervisor, Masters and PhD, Professor A.A. Salawu. Professor A.A. Salawu served as my co-supervisor 1 for Masters and co-supervisor 2 for PhD, and still my teacher that I respect with high esteem. Professor A.A. Salawu, you are welcome. The keynote address, the guest speaker, the former librarian of Danfodiyo University and now librarian Federal University, Birnin Kebbi, the vice chancellor of the Shehu Shagari University of Education, Professor M.U. Tambuwal. Please forgive me in case I omit your name and allow me not only to stand but to lean on the existing protocol. Assalamu alaikum. I'm standing before you to deliver a message sent by my Vice Chancellor, Professor Lawal Suleiman Bilbis, who wanted to be here personally, but for official engagements could not be here in person. And he has asked me to bring the message that I intend to read, inshallah. And I read my Vice Chancellor's address as follows. I wish to tender the Vice Chancellor's apology for his inability to attend the conference in person. He had wanted to attend, but due to some official engagements, could not be here in person. Therefore, he has asked me to represent him. The Vice Chancellor's speech is therefore as follows. It is my pleasure to witness the 8th Annual National Conference of Faculty of Education and Extension Services of this great university. It is with great pleasure and anticipation that I welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the Faculty of Education and Extension Service National Conference, centered around the crucial theme, Cultivating Impactful Pedagogy in the Post-COVID Era for Sustainable Education. The past few years have tested our educational systems like never before. The COVID-19 pandemic disrupted traditional teaching methods, forcing us to adapt rapidly and rethink our approach to education. As we gather here today, we acknowledge the challenges we have faced and the resilience we have demonstrated as teachers and educators. Our theme, Cultivating Impactful Pedagogy in the Post-COVID Era for Sustainable Education, speaks to the heart of our shared mission. It underscores our commitment to crafting educational practices that not only withstand crisis, but thrive in the face of adversity. Pedagogy, the art of teaching, is the linchpin upon which effective education hinges. Impactful pedagogy is not a mere concept. It is our collective aspiration. It signifies our dedication to fostering deep and lasting learning experiences that empower students to excel in a rapidly changing world. It means equipping them with skills, critical thinking abilities, and the resilience to overcome challenges they may encounter. Sustainable education, a goal that resonates deeply with us, extends beyond the classroom. It encompasses the sustainability of our planet, our societies, and our educational systems. It calls for an inclusive approach that ensures equitable access to education for all, irrespective of their backgrounds or circumstances. Sustainability also entails the responsible stewardship of resources and the promotion of lifelong learning. This conference serves as a vital platform for us to extend ideas, share best practices, and chart a course for the future of our education. In the days ahead, we will delve into innovative teaching methodologies, discuss the integration of technology, and explore ways to make education more inclusive and adaptable. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the dedicated individuals who have worked tirelessly to organize this conference, and to all the scholars, educators, and experts who have graced us with their presence. Your commitment to advancing education is commendable, and your contributions are invaluable. As we embark on this educational journey together, let us remember that we have the power to shape the future of learning. Let us be the architects of impactful pedagogy that not only imparts knowledge, but nurtures wisdom, compassion, and resilience in our students. In conclusion, may this conference be a wellspring of inspiration, collaboration, and transformation. Let our discussions here light the way forward for education in the post-COVID era as we strive for a sustainable and brighter future for all learners. Thank you, and let us begin this conference with enthusiasm and determination. Wassalamu alaikum, and best wishes to all of us. On this note, on behalf of my Vice Chancellor, Professor Lawal Suleiman Bilbis, I hereby declare the conference open.
Thank you, and thank you, sir, for that wonderful goodwill message from the Vice Chancellor. It was actually delivered by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics in the presence of our father, Professor M.J. Mouta. Thank you very much for that. We will now take a goodwill message, but because we are wrestling with time and we wouldn't want it to defeat us, so we will just take two people to give us a goodwill message before we go into the presentation. But before then, ladies and gentlemen, members of the high table, ordinarily, we could have had one of us, our father, will have been among the first people to be here, honestly. Last year, he was among the first people to be in the venue of the conference. But as Allah's will, today he is no more with us. He is a lover of education, a great scholar. So in memory of him, please, and with the approval of the Dean of the Faculty, I will request members to just be in standing position to have just a minute silent, in respect to our father who has left this world, and person of Professor M.A. Wasagu. And please say a word of prayer to him. Just a minute silent in honor of him. May Allah forgive his shortcomings and grant him Al-Jannah. Thank you, and you have your seat. Thank you very much. At this point in time, I would want to welcome and invite our father to come and give us a goodwill message at the occasion of this great occasion of our conference, annual conference. And in no person, the former or immediate past dean of the faculty, in person of Professor A.K. Chukwu. Please, sir, you may wish to come and give us your goodwill message, after which we will take the next person. Thank you. Please, let's jam our hands together for our father. He remains the general in the academic cycle. Thank you, sir.
As the immediate past dean of this faculty, I am very, very happy, extremely happy, honestly, to see the continuation of this conference. By the time I left, I was afraid. I'd been scared whether this conference will continue. Alhamdulillah. That was why I made all the effort I can to make sure that I am in Sokoto in order to attend this conference, because there is continuation. So I wish the current dean to continue with this. And of course, other things that the academics need, that pertain students as well as our academic staff and non-academic staff as well. So Dean, please, thank you very much for your effort, and I want this thing to continue. Thank you very much.
They say the words of elders are words of wisdom. And this university, we are blessed with great elders who always give us words of wisdom. And that is why we always say that Usmanu Danfodiyo University is distinguished. We always call it the best university because it's the most peaceful university across this nation. So I think we are blessed to be here. The next person that will give us a goodwill message. The next person that will give us a goodwill message is our father, who is blessed with a lot of wisdom. The former Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics, Administration and Academics at the same time. The person of Professor A.A. Bagudu. You're welcome, sir.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم الشيطان الرجيم Vice Chancellor Professor Lawal Suleiman Bilgis, ably represented here by the Vice Chancellor Academic, also on. We are very happy that he is Deputy Vice Chancellor today. I also want to acknowledge the keynote speaker, Associate Professor Umari, and I want to crave the indulgence of the chairman to operate on the already established protocol. There are so many people to be mentioned here. But I also want to mention Professor M. Utambo, the Sheikh Shagari qualification, Sokoto. Not for anything, not because he is a vice chancellor, but because he is the initiator of this national annual conference. He started it. We are witnessing the 8th edition of this annual national conference. If not for anything, any dean that is coming to the faculty is challenged to sustain this annual national conference. Nobody should fail to continue with the annual national conference. This is the third dean, Professor M.A. Yusha'u, who is still flying that flag of national conference. Because as we all know, this is the life of the university. We have to come and talk. We have to come and say. We have to profess what we have been doing. And the only avenue we have are conferences like this. Anything outside this is a gossip. So here is an opportunity to say it as it is. Because as I've always said, academic work is a pursuit of disinterested truth. You say it as it is, as you have investigated it. So Professor M. Tambole has said the ball rolling, and the ball will keep on rolling, because we will challenge anything that comes up. Before we elect you, we'll ask you, will you continue with the National Annual Conference? Because that's the only way the faculty education will be known in Nigeria, because we will assemble academicians from far and near to come and share knowledge with us, to rub minds with us. And that is why Associate Professor Jumari is here. Otherwise, we will not just come because they have a similar auditorium in ABU area. But we invited him to come and say something about this thing we are searching, impactful pedagogy or post-COVID. Like somebody mentioned, traditional teachers like me are challenged when the COVID came. Everybody was at home. Should we end the education simply because nobody should touch or could come close to somebody? And, we have seen that even pilgrimage was not performed 1, 2 years. Knowledge should continue, because you cannot perform pilgrimage until you are knowledgeable about what pilgrimage is all about. So knowledge is of prime importance. So now the papers that are going to come in are going to dig into what is this impactful pedagogy that will stand all times, in addition to the existing, the traditional way that we come to talk to you, and you listen with rapt attention to try to record the cough of the lecturer. So I wish the conferees successful deliberations. As we retire to different syndicate groups, we pray that this conference will usher in a new dawn in the faculty search for an impactful pedagogy of post-COVID. And we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the journey masses, for all those who came from far and near. And also we pray God Almighty extend his journey masses to all of them back to their respective destinations. And we thank everybody, especially I have seen our postgraduate students, yes, ones who have breathed new life in the faculty. A lot of going on in the faculty. Anybody who comes will say, what is happening? We say, no, it is a registration for the national conference. So I congratulate you all and celebrate, and I wish all of us full and successful celebration. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, sir, for that great, good message. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, then you will agree with me that this conference is unique because it's a conference of the Faculty of Education. I dare to say every field of endeavor is a subset of education. Show me any medical doctor and I will show you a teacher that taught him that medicine. Show me any field of endeavor and I will show you a teacher that taught him. So education is the mother of all faculties and is the mother of all professions. So this is a very great opportunity for us. On that note, Mr. Chairman, I will want to invite our father who has taught almost, I'm not very sure, but I think almost all of us here to come and give us his goodwill message in person of Baba. I'm very sorry. I always forget the plug, and because Baba is always coming first. Our father, Baba, Baba Professor A.A. Salauddin. Please let's jam our hands together. For some of us, we are grandchildren actually. We are grandchildren. So thank you very much, Baba, for doing a very wonderful job. Thank you, sir. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, members on this part of the auditorium, let me stand on a visiting protocol. I want to congratulate the Dean of Education, Professor Yushao, and his entourage for hosting this conference. I remember when we started the faculty conference many years back, there was a time, the second conference, when I was made the chairman of the local organizing committee. It's a long time. We thank Almighty God for giving you the opportunity to continue with what was started longest time ago. Members here present from the department, from the Faculty of Education, from different institutions around, the students who are here, they are all welcome to this conference. Almighty God, as we are starting, will enable us to complete it in good faith. And at the end of the day, I'm sure all of us will go back with something tangible on the main theme of this conference. On behalf of myself, as a retiree from Faculty of Education, I welcome you to this conference, and we pray to Almighty God to grant us successful ending at the end of the day, so that we'll be able to thank Almighty Allah for His grace on us. Thank you very much. Wish you a successful ending. Thank you very much, Baba, for that goodwill message. You will agree with me. These are words of wisdom. We are grateful, sir. Now we have come to the point where we will listen very keenly to learn from the theme of this conference. And on that note, I will want to invite my friend, Dr. M.A. Yusuf, to come and read the citation of our keynote speaker. All right. Dr. Abbas Mahmoud, sorry, to come and read the citation of our keynote speaker in person of Professor M.A. Jumari. Please, come to the podium. Thank you.
Do we have a solution, yeah?
Sir, please, can you come and stand?
Come on, Rishi.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol to read a brief history about our keynote speaker. In from Zaria, we did masters together. We did external examination at the same time. Please permit me to read a brief biography about Abubakar Muhammad Jumari. Abubakar Muhammad Jumari is a reader with the Institute of Education at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He hailed from the Habe dynasty in the Zazzau Emirate, genealogically from Muhammad al-Barka, the younger brother to Muhammad Makau, Emir of Zazzau, 1802 to 1804. 1802 to 1804, and Zazzau Suleja 1805, 1807, and was born in Bomo town of the then Zaria local government area Kaduna State, Nigeria, in 1975. The A.M. Jumare attended Bomo LEA Primary and Government Secondary School 1981 to 1993. He attended Federal College of Education, Zaria, where he obtained NCE certificate in education 1997 to 2000, and also Bachelor of Education, Social Studies 2000 to 2003, Master of Education 2008 to 2010, and Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, Educational Administration and Planning 2011 to 2014 at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Dr. A.M. Jumari started his teaching career at Kaduna State School, Magajia, Zaria, 2005 to 2008. Jigawa State College of Education, Women 2008 to 2013. Federal College of Education, Zaria, 2013 to 2014, and Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, 2014 to date. He has advised a number of undergraduate and postgraduate students. He written over 43 journal and conferences, articles within and outside Nigeria. He has written 7 books titled An Introduction to Educational Management and Ethics 2015, Introduction to Issues in Educational Management in Nigeria 2016, An Introduction to Educational Management and Ethics revised 2017, Introduction to Research Methodology in Education, a Practical Approach 2017, Introduction to Recurrent Issues in Educational Administration in Nigeria 2018, and Perspective in Educational Administration and Planning in Nigeria 2019, Simplify Approach to Education Management in Nigeria 2020, and Educational Management Dictionary 2021. In addition, the author has 4 chapters in contributed to co-author book. In the Institute of Education, Dr. Jumari is a member of the Quality Assurance and Research Committee, Text Officer for Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Program Officer Professional Diploma in Education, and Deputy Director, Institute of Education 2021 to date. He is also a member of several professional bodies, among which are Nigerian Association of Educational Administration Planning, Association of Theories and Practitioners of Educational Management in Africa, Association of Educational Researchers and Evaluators of Nigeria, Teacher Registration Council of Nigeria, Association of Nigeria Educators, and acting chairman, Nigerian Association of Educational Administration Planning, Kaduna State Chapter 2018 to date. Dr. A.M. Jumari is married with children. Thank you. Yes. You have your sister.
Thank you, sir. On this note, and after reading this wonderful citation, please, you can take the podium for your presentation.
Which one is the slides?
Thank you very much.
Aja,
The,
which one is the slides?
my friend,
The slides.
Dr. Abbas Mahmouda, and at the same time, reading my citation. I find it difficult in this moment. I always, want to speak and then go. People should know probably what I do, maybe in my books or so. Please, may you power what I.
Okay. I'm coming.
Can we have it? Or I can go ahead.
Just go ahead.
The Vice Chancellor, Usmanu Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, the Vice Chancellor,
I'm coming soon.
Sokoto State University of Education, am I right? Shehu Shagari University of Education, the Dean of the Faculty of Education, other deans, our senior professors, my colleagues, the chairman of the LOC, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Let me borrow a leaf from the representatives of the Vice Chancellor to also recognize one of my teachers, in person of Professor Uti Muhammad, who happens to be my first postgraduate supervisor. Please, let's put a round of applause. Professor Uti Muhammad was in Ahmadu Bello University, I think on a sabbatical, in the year 2008. That was the year I went for a master's degree. So he was the first I had contact as far as postgraduate activities are concerned. And I learned a lot. And I feel humble and happy to be here, probably to give what he has taught me to some of his grandchildren here. Thank you very much. The title of my paper is Cultivating Impactful Pedagogy in the Post-COVID-19 Era for Sustainable Education. Please, may we go to the next slide? Can we move? Yes. The Vice Chancellor, sir, other members, you may recall the hell we went through during the COVID-19. I'm happy my father, a professor here, said even going to Hajj then for 2 years was cancelled. I want to add to what he has said. Jumu'ah prayer, we were not going at that time. Khamsu Salawat prayer, nothing. Visits sick persons, there was nothing. On and on and on. And that, by extension, has affected the educational system. The slide, please.
We are having to...
You can get it. We have been trying to...
A minute.
The slide.
A minute. This guy now should respond now. She chamber she sir.
Members may recall in the year 2019, there was this story that there was a disease in somewhere in China which has been, that town has become cumbersome to almost all of us in Wuhan, all right, in China. And the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 as a threat to the world health. Of course, it affected, almost all ages, gender, and what have you. In fact, at the beginning, there was confusion. Who is a carrier who is affected, how do you identify somebody carrying, COVID-19? But of course, we were told at that time that COVID-19 affects those, old ages, and then people with diseases like hypertension, all right, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, and what have you. But of course, measures, including social distancing, regular wash of hand, and that was what brought about not going to Hajj, not going to mosque, not moving around, market closed, and what have you. Burial places, nobody goes there. We were locked. In fact, some of us, did forget, today is Wednesday or Thursday. Yes. And market closed, almost all social contacts were closed. Now, around December, all right, in 2019, no, let's go to the next slide. Let's go to the next. Federal government of Nigeria made an announcement of lockdown. This is another word, which if I call, I know we remember. Lockdown, no movement. It's as if there was war. COVID-19, was in alarming crisis in most countries, all right, which affect our educational system, especially in the area of sustainable development goals. Number 4 and 8. Sustainable development, you're going back. Sustainable development goal number 4 commits the world nations to inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning. Against this backdrop, that so many of our activities in teaching and learning were disrupted. And as we may recall, there was a report of Education for All around 2015, reporting the achievements of the MDGs, keying into the SDGs. In that report, the most backward region, in the whole world was the sub-Saharan Africa, which Nigeria is one. We were not close by the assessment to meeting, the MDGs. And of course, at 2015, SDGs, were put forward. And of course, we were devastated and disadvantaged with, access to schooling, highest dropout, and then lowest in quality. The report explained that as at around 2015, about 10 million children were out of school. And the figure globally was 100 million. By implication, in every 10 children out of school in the world, 1 is from Nigeria. And Nigeria is part of the sub-Saharan Africa. This is a big challenge, for us. Then, goal number 8. Goal number 8 also commits, nations to ambitious target: all girls and boys complete free, equitable, and quality primary and secondary education. This is also a target which COVID-19, has disrupted. There are many narrations, of how many people were infected, how many people recovered, in Nigeria. Unfortunately, about 215 countries, all over the world, getting to 94.4, total number of enrolled learners in these countries, were out of school. Now, an estimate of 80 million children, youth and adult learners in the system were deprived access, to school and have very limited learning opportunities for an 3 months. In other words, for these 3 months, almost the whole world was locked down. Forget about sub-Saharan Africa and Nigeria in particular. We have our problems, existing ones, but the whole world suffered, under this. The closure of schools and learning facilities during the pandemic resulted in further deterioration, in facilities and capacities for delivery. I'm happy our elder prof here said, it's a challenge before us now. In the event of any pandemic, it might not be COVID again. It might not be. It may be war. It may be any other, calamity like this flood that Nigeria is suffering almost year in, year out. What do we do as educators to educate? Because we must educate. So far as we are alive, learners are alive, we must extend our services of teaching, to learners. You can go to the next slide, please. So against this background, we must proactively advise other teachers and learners, devise other teaching and learning processes, facilities, and environment outside the non-traditional methods. To go to class and have contact with children, it's high time we begin to think. In fact, with what we have today, as far as teaching and learning is concerned, most of our classes are inadequate, most of our tables and facilities are inadequate, teachers are inadequate. So what do? We must reach, to these children. Nation that toys with her educational sector by neglecting global digital best practice is at its own expenses. I'm happy, as I said, and Elder Prof here said, we must key into digital practices today, and teachers should be, in the forefront, so as to impart, knowledge. Let's look at some data, please. Nigeria ranked. Okay, you have moved. You may come back, please. Okay, Nigeria ranked 79th out of 80 countries in economic intelligence unit technology in the ranking of 2018, in the use of technology in teaching and learning. Next slide, please. It was obvious during COVID-19, when no substantial number of teachers at all levels for our educational system could execute digital learning in our schools. So ours was a terrible one, that there was a disconnect, between teachers, and students. Let's see what the developed nations did, at that time. Inadequate investment in resource and development in Africa. For example, let's take some data. For instance, universities and the research institute in US had increased their budget in research with about $3.4 billion, equivalent to about 2.6 trillion. Not that is the figure they put in. No, they added so as to meet, that challenge. And the previous budget for research in US in some universities and research institute was $89.9 billion, about 69.8 trillion. This is the way and manner, these, countries are investing, all right, as far as research and development is concerned. Let's look at Nigeria. Nigeria, the largest economy in Africa, in the same period, had its expenditure through gross domestic estimate. Even this one, we could not find a tentative figure. This is an estimate, no figure. that you can lay your hands. Maybe if you go to TED one will tell you what they have expended. But totally, you cannot lay your hands in one figure that will tell you what Nigeria has spent. But through estimate, it was $1.8 billion, around 1.1 trillion. But this is below Johns Hopkins University research spending of 1.71 billion, which is about 1.3 trillion. One university is spending in research more than what the whole Nigeria, is spending. This is pathetic. This is pathetic. One university, what is the population of students? What are the population of students? I mean, academic staff. This is what they spend. They say we are over 200 million. Look at what they spend in single university is over what we spend, here. Now, there is conspiracy, around this COVID-19. There are a lot of talks here and there. There was this issue of 5G, the development and deployment of 5G network. It generated a lot of, disagreement, agreement, and what have you. Scholars have argued on and on and on that it was made, to increase COVID-19. Number two, there was this event 201, all right, which was also to create, pandemic in Africa. There was also a reduction of global population. During the COVID-19, we were told that COVID-19 was man-made disease to bring to Africa and to cut the population of Africa by half. Why? Because we have resources and the Western world are after the resources as such that if we are alive, they cannot have access to the resources. This is another conspiracy theory, which we discuss, in forums, like this. Test disease as a tool for all. Argument even between China and America existed that China manufactured COVID-19 so as to attack America. If one American happens to go to America, according to their analogy, with COVID-19, he will infect people in the plane, he will infect in the airport, he will infect wherever he goes, as we had, it multiplies. The deputy vice chancellor, he comes to office. If he goes back home, he must remove his clothes, wash his hand, go and bath. Or else, if it infects his family will infect another. Before you know it, it becomes a pandemic. There was also this conspiracy. And the other one is means for vaccine testing. They want to test, the veracity of their laboratory tests. It was said also that they produce COVID-19 so that they will be able to know to what extent, will COVID-19 destroy the human race. And then also define a vaccine that they will apply to see. And what that means by implication is if they send the disease, they have the medicine. If they want you to die, they have the medicine. If they don't want you to die, they give you the medicine. But we believe our lives is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what happened in the Western world did not happen, in Africa. Next slide, please. There were also claims, all right, that COVID-19 pandemic is a state management health crisis propagated by media and some power that be. Yes, if they want you to leave from the Western world, you comply with what they want, you give them your resources, they allow you to leave. If you don't, they threaten you, with these diseases. This has been also propagated, by the media houses. The way and manner the disease was amplified through the media was beyond what we think. Yes, economies were affected, globally, especially we, that are here. claims and beliefs related to supernatural powers. In fact, in Africa, they said, this disease is beyond human power, is supernatural. What you should do is just look at it and let it do what it wants to do. All these are conspiracy theories, that happen. Next slide, please. Setbacks created by COVID-19. School closure of schools have disrupted, the calendar. This is a clear fact. Economic meltdown. Many economies, including the superpowers, had gone down, in that at that time. Loss of man-hour in all economic sectors. You go to work 3 hours, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nobody goes to work. A lot of losses were made. COVID-19 has affected school characteristics. All right, activities we do in schools, and then researches, academic programs, staff professional development, and so many other things. Next slide, please. Now, what do we do in the event of such pandemic or any other one as teachers, so that we connect whatsoever the situation to students at all locations? These are some of those things we are expected to do. For instance, radio programs. We can develop content in relation to the content of the curriculum, record, and then air it on the radio. The Vice Chancellor, let me report, an effort by one of our colleagues, I think after American University, who won a research grant of $1.3 million. What has he done? He, not during COVID, but during the insurgency in the Northeast, he invited experts of English, of mathematics, of science education, and what have you, primary subjects. They translate in the process of teaching, as if they are teaching in the class. They record the content, and he now contracted an FM radio, which covers the areas where those pupils live. He now developed, the reading materials, including exercises and what have you, for which he distributed to the student, and then play the teaching via radio, and students at home, they are given timings with exercises where they would tune to the radio. If radios were bought, batteries were bought, and were distributed to the parent for the children. Timings were given which student would sit down at home, tune, open book, and the teacher teaches gradually. Professors, special guests, this is the way we go. Previously, BBC did a research and said that there is nowhere in the whole world where radio is being listened to like Northern Nigeria. Except these days, wherever you see our elders are here, you find them with their radio. They tune to BBC. They know BBC time, after Zuhur, before Asr, and they know BBC time after Isha'i. They know BBC time early hours of the morning. And any news they hear from there, they take it as if it is revealed. Yes. So this is a means through which teachers we can connect. Through that means whatsoever. Ours is to teach. Number 2 is online programs. We can do online, like postgraduate that are here. I come from Zaria. I can teach, using online devices via phones. There is nobody. I don't think there is anybody who does not have smartphone. We can use that, as a means. Television. Of course, television, there must be power. And the power of the country is epileptic. We know that. But of course, for those that can have access to television, it can also be done, like that. Self-learning books. There are books which are more of self-explanatory, using diagrams, pictures and what have you. We can also devise, this means. Social media platforms. As I said earlier, we can use Zoom, we can use Microsoft Team, so many others. Our professors may be somewhere, you may be somewhere, you can sit down, and listen to their lectures. In fact, the technology has opened up that you can ask questions, you can communicate, all right? So many, and in so many other means. Then virtual conferencing, they are there, Team, Zoom, and what have you. Then learning management systems. Schools can devise or create websites where they can upload, some of their activities, also for learning. Next slide, please. Now, recommendations. Relevant society-oriented curriculum. What I mean by this should be developed so that our curriculum will be addressed the needs of our society. In the event that what the curriculum is teaching is in disconnect with what the society wants, our curriculum will continue to be obsolete and irrelevant. Then sustainable government-private partnership in funding education. Scholars argue free and compulsory education is a mirage. It might not be possible. Anything we call free, I don't think will succeed. So government and private should partner. One of the examples is this issue of TETFA. It was government and private. TETFA collects certain percentage of government revenues. UBEC also collect, certain percentage of contributions by companies and inject it into education. So this recommendation is saying government shouldn't continue to claim to shoulder the educational system of Nigeria. Doing that will continue to take us to where we don't know, and challenges will continue to occur. Then educational plans and programs must be backed up by laws. Most of the programs we do have these days, they are not backed up by law. So if you didn't do it, nobody will query you. Laws should be made in such a way that there will be penalty. If you didn't do A, B will happen to you. And this should cut across from the federal, state, up to the local education authorities. Also, as a recommendation, the use of data-driven policies, in education enterprise. Data-driven policies imply policies that are done with fact and figures. I'm happy when the MC was introducing Usmanu Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, he said, fact and figures are there. You use fact and figures. You don't estimate. Let me give an example. In anticipation of students coming in for primary education, maybe in Sokoto State, if you may ask the governor or the honorable commissioner of education, what is the expected enrollment of primary 1 pupils in Sokoto State? I don't think you'll be able to tell you. I don't think. If you cannot tell you, what that means is they will not be able to prepare adequately for those children that are leaving their homes to school. And if you cannot have data at hand, you cannot plan, very well. So any policy that should be taken, data should be used as a basis, for those policies. Continuous training and retraining of teachers, especially on current best practices. This issue of ICT, this issue of the use of technology in teaching should be a sustainable, continuous, activity. In conclusion, Nigeria is yet to make frantic efforts, in using appropriate technology and platforms for learning. This is a clear-cut, truth we can see. There is no clear, defined new policy direction, on concrete measures to adopt in order to inject new programs, courses, into our school curriculum. After COVID-19, University should have been communicated by NUC to introduce courses that will serve, as a kind of solutions, to in the event that we have similar, challenge in the future. That, is not done and is ought to be done, immediately. But it is not too late, by all stakeholders to reshape and restructure and also revamp and re-energize the educational system with necessary, shock absorbers that can stand the pandemic in the future. I thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Please, can we jam our hands together once again for our presenter? Thank you very much. At this point, I will invite our sister, Dr. Kudrat Adegoke Abiola, to come forward and read the citation of our lead paper presenter. And I will equally invite our father, Professor A. Balarabe, to come forward as his citation is being read. Thank you. Kudrat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم I stand on the existing protocols. Respected members of the High Table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to read the citation of our indefatigable mentor, a pacesetter, the workaholic leader, our home, the former university librarian of the Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, in person of Professor Hamad Balarabe Abdul, FNLE. I start by saying Professor Hamad Abdul Balarabe graduated from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and Usmanu Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, respectively. He holds graduate certificates in education, BLS, MLS ABU, and PhD UDUS. He attended the International Graduate Study School, College of Librarianship, Wales, United Kingdom in 1990. After the completion of his mandatory national service at the National Library of Nigeria, he joined the services of the Usmanu Danfodiyo University, Sokoto as a graduate assistant in 1983. He rose through the ranks to become a professor of library and information science in the year 2011. He was appointed as acting university librarian from 1998 to 2007. And then substantive university librarian from the year 2007 to 2017. Following the establishment of the Department of Library and Information Science in the university, he was appointed the pioneer head of department from the year 2020 to 2022. Now currently is the University Librarian of the Federal University of Birnin Kebbi in Kebbi State. Professor Hamad Balarabe has remarkably contributed to the growth of the development of the university library, in particularly the university in general. His contributions to the library and information science education and the profession in Nigeria are too numerous to enumerate. In the university, for instance, he contributed immensely to the development of the certificate, diploma, and degree program in library and information science, as well as establishment of the department in the Faculty of Education and Extension Services. At the professional level, He was once the chairman of the Nigerian Library Association of Sokoto State, Kebbi, and Zamfara State, respectively, for many years. He is currently a council member and editor-in-chief of the association's professional journal and the Nigerian libraries. In recognition of his immense contribution to the profession, he was awarded the Fellow of the Nigeria Library Association, that's FNLA, in the year 2014. Professor Ahmed Balarabe has served as a visiting and sabbatical staff at Umaru Musa Yar'Adua University, as well as an external examiner and external assessor for promotion of academic staff and then academic librarians in many Nigerian universities. Ladies and gentlemen, he has supervised and mentored many academic librarians, particularly the person reading the citation, who has risen from and then occupied key positions as directors of public libraries, librarians in universities, polytechnics, college of education, as well as teachers in Nigerian library school. Is widely traveled within and outside Nigeria. On this note, I want you to help me welcome him to the stage because he has the full floor now. Thank you.
The chairman of this occasion, the Vice Chancellor, Danfodiyo University, Sokoto, ably represented by the Dean, by BBC Academy, and who is also a member of the faculty. Other distinguished personalities, the high table. With the permission of the chairman, I stand on all existing protocols, especially established. Ladies and gentlemen, let me first of all make a very important clarification. It's really unfortunate that I was given a short notice to present this particular paper. Exactly 3 weeks ago, the Dean, I'm sorry to mention this, at that time I was very, very occupied. I traveled far away to Sokoto. I came back only on Sunday. Nevertheless, able to present what I will present. I just submitted this paper late, today at 2 a.m. So, sorry for whatever shortcomings that may likely be found in the paper. The paper goes like this. It gives me a great pleasure to stand before this August Assembly to present the lead paper. First and foremost, I wish to express my appreciation and profound gratitude to the organizers of this conference for considering me worthy of this honor and the singular privilege afforded me to share my thoughts on the topic of discussion today. Let me also commend the Faculty of Education and Extension Services for sustaining this annual event that brings together eminent and distinguished scholars and other stakeholders across the country to share their ideas and knowledge pertinent to educational development in Nigeria. I wish the faculty and the university more success in this laudable effort. Without any doubt, the theme of this year's annual national conference, titled Cultivating Impactful Pedagogy in the Post-COVID-19 Era for Sustainable Education, is very charming and family, especially considering the devastating impact of the pandemic disease on education in particular and national development in general since its emergence and widespread in 2019. Despite its control, COVID-19 pandemic has continued to generate a global concern, discussion, and attention of government directors. Even though, as stated by my colleague, I have much bias towards library information science due to my educational background and several years of professional practice and management of university library system. I was requested by the organizers to relate my presentation to the broad theme of this conference, not library information science anyway. I therefore have the liberty to focus specifically on the following 6 key areas with the hope of stimulating further insights and deliberations on the topic of discussion. The key areas are highlighted below. 1, the concept of pedagogy, that is what is meant by pedagogy, the significance of pedagogy in education. Number 3, the impact of COVID-19 pandemic and the changing landscape of pedagogy in education. Number 4, the imperative of impactable pedagogy in the post-COVID era for sustainable education, with particular reference to Nigeria. 5, challenges or hindrances to impactable pedagogy in Nigeria. After challenges, then we have conclusion and recommendations. In other words, way forward. Now the concept. Globally, education is considered to be the bedrock of cornerstone of socio-economic, cultural, political, and environmental development. Education is a necessity for every individual in a country, and likewise a powerful tool for empowering the human resources and capacity for national development. However, at the heart of effective education lies the concept of pedagogy, often referred to as the art and science of teaching. Pedagogy encompasses a wide range of strategies, methods, and practices employed by educators to facilitate meaningful learning experiences for students. It goes beyond mere transmission of knowledge, as it involves understanding the diverse needs of learners, tailoring instruction to those needs, and fostering a love for learning that extends far beyond the classroom work. By implication, the importance of pedagogy in education cannot be overstated, as it forms the bedrock upon which effective learning and meaningful learning experiences are built. For centuries, the meaning of pedagogy has undergone several iterations, resulting in lack of a consensual definition of the concept, especially in recent education scholarship. According to Cultivating, the concept may seem to be a simple term to most people, but what constitutes pedagogy is much more complex and not easily defined, as definitions of the same word appear to be somehow obscure. In view of Kapoor, pedagogy develops from a range of factors, including theories and research evidence, political drivers, evidence from practice, individual and group reflection, educated experience and expertise, community expectations and requirements. Further argue that the important area that needs to be understood when discussing the meaning and significance of pedagogy is the work of teaching and instruction method, which forms a curriculum. At its core, pedagogy is all about understanding the process through which individuals learn best. Throughout history, it has always been important to be educated, and there have always been pedagogists responsible for developing pedagogical programs in line with the necessity of times. The concept, therefore, involves recognizing that each student is unique, with varying learning styles, preferences, and background, and an effective pedagogy considers these differences and crafts teaching approaches that accommodate them. For instance, some students might strive in an hands-on exploration learning environment, while others may excel in a more reflective, discussion-based, by tailoring instruction to the specific needs of learners. Educators create an environment that encourages engagement and active participation, leading to deeper comprehension and retention of knowledge. Moreover, pedagogy emphasizes the role of the educator as a facilitator of learning. This shift in perspective fosters a dynamic classroom atmosphere where students are encouraged to ask questions, explore their curiosities, and take ownership of their learning journey. In contrast to traditional rote memorization, effective pedagogical approaches emphasize critical thinking, problem solving, and application of knowledge to real-world situations. This not only equips the students with practical skills, but also nurtures their capacity to think independently and adapt in an ever-evolving world. That is all about pedagogy. Now we go to the second aspect of this particular paper, that is significance of pedagogy in education. Why we need it. Pedagogy is an essential aspect of the teaching learning process. With a well-thought pedagogy in place, for instance, improvements in teaching and learning are assured. This is because being aware of the methods that one can utilize to instill comprehension in the students significantly contributes to learning. Pedagogy serves as a strategic framework that guides educators in creating meaningful and transformative learning experiences for students. One of the importance of pedagogy lies in its ability to foster deep understanding, critical thinking, and lifelong skills among learners. This is because pedagogy tailors teaching methods to cater for the diverse needs, abilities, and learning styles of students. By recognizing that each student is unique, educators can design instructional strategies that engage and resonate with individual learners. This personalized approach promotes individual of critical thinking skills in students, enhances their comprehension, and cultivates their sense of ownership over their learning journey, thereby motivating students to become active participants in the classroom. However, pedagogy is not a static concept, but a dynamic practice that adapts to changing times. As technology advances and society evolves shift, pedagogy evolves to incorporate new tools and methods. This adaptability ensures that education remains relevant and effective in preparing students for the challenges and opportunities of the future. So from the foregoing discussion, it is quite clear that the importance of pedagogy in education cannot be overemphasized. It is the foundation upon which meaningful learning experiences are built. Through personalized approaches, critical thinking, cultivation, inclusivity, passion, learning, and adaptability, pedagogy empowers educators to shape the minds of students not only for academic success, but also for a fulfilling and effective life beyond the classroom. The next aspect of the paper is the impact of COVID-19 pandemic and changing landscape of pedagogy of education. This is a very important aspect. I'm glad that the previous speaker has already indicated the history of pandemic. Nonetheless, it is good to also indicate some of the highlights associated with this disease. The outbreak of virus, also referred to as COVID-19, which was first reported in December 2019 in China, was a public health emergency of serious international concern that was declared a pandemic on 1st March 2020. The Dictionary of Etymology defines pandemic as an epidemic occurring worldwide or over a very wide area, crossing international boundaries and usually affecting a large number of people. On the nature of the virus, the World Health Organization and the International Association for Medical Assistance to Travelers advise that coronavirus is a large family of respiratory viruses that can cause illness in people and animals. The pandemic disseminated jobs, brought about a devastating loss of human life, and presented unprecedented challenges to almost all sectors of the economy by threatening the existence of a multitude of enterprise organizations and corporations. The pandemic was characterized by sudden closure of public institutions such as schools, markets, worship and relaxation centers, where only a few essential workers were allowed to go to work with strict adherence to COVID-19 protocol at the new normal. According to Sabara, the pandemic has caused more than 1.6 billion children and youth to be out of school. Due to the total lockdown of schools, many children, youth, and adults automatically became idle, and this resulted in some of them engaging in sermons and other social vices, which further adversely affected their academic performance even after the reopening of schools at the end of the lockdown. It was lamented that COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted the lives of students in different ways, depending not only on their level of course of study, but also on the point they have reached in their program. The hopes, ambitions, and aspirations of children to excel in their academic endeavors were dashed. The parents were also at the receiving end of the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result of the closure of schools and learning centers, parents were left with no other option than to assume the responsibilities or duties of teachers and caregivers. It is doubtful, however, whether they are able or capable to do so. In Nigeria specifically, following the confirmed cases of the pandemic on 27 June, February, and 19 March 2020, respectively, the federal government took the following drastic measures, which affected the economy. Announced the closure of all tertiary institutions, tertiary, secondary, and primary schools. On the same day, followed the closure of the international airports in Nigeria, namely Enugu, Port Harcourt, and Kano. The next day, witnessed the closure of the remaining two international airports, Abuja and Lagos. At the state level, various state governments also individually announced indefinite closure of their schools at all levels from 18th March. The states are indicated: Kwara, Lagos, Ebonyi, and so on and so forth, up to Sokoto, Danfodiyo, Kaduna, Niger, and the rest. Now, consequently, the closure of all schools in the country crippled learning activities and also caused serious setback to students' academic progress at all levels. More seriously, the lockdown imposed to curtail the pandemic has given students from privileged backgrounds, supported by their parents, access to alternative learning opportunities to the disadvantage of the less privileged students. Furthermore, the pandemic situation necessitated the adoption of virtual space. Unfortunately, however, not all countries and people have the same infrastructure, technical skills, capacity, and usage to exploit the emerging technologies to fight the COVID-19 borne educational challenges. The educational institutions with necessary facilities make concerted efforts to ensure learning continuity during the crisis period. And the children and students had to rely more on their resources to continue to learn remotely through the internet, television, or radio. The countries with a high level of capacity are doing well, while those lacking infrastructure, like Nigeria, are still confronted with formidable challenges and attendant educational setbacks. I really recall this situation. At that time, we remained at home, I and my children in Zaria. For over 3 months, we are there. But I know the KSBC then introduced the television and radio program. The programs aired between 10 to 11, then 4 to 5, just 2 hours in a day. And I had the opportunity of gathering my children that time, because they developed interest. So I added at home, doing nothing. And we all waited and listened to the program. Unfortunately, some of the problems encountered, one was constant power favor. I had to call my chain, but I could not afford actually foiling my chain because of a number of problems, economy at that time, and we passed through as society, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the problems encountered, and talk less of people in rural areas, remote areas where they have no such facilities. It is significant to note that the COVID-19 pandemic has unmasked what is called the weaknesses of Nigerian education system and inequity in access to education nationally. For instance, the report of UNESCO in 2019, that is the very year of COVID that occurred in December, highlighted the gloomy situation in northern Nigeria. It indicated that the region has over 10 million out of school children, which is the highest in the world. Another 27 million children in school are performing very poorly. Millions of Nigerians are half educated, while over 60 million or 30% are illiterate. This is very, very serious. Furthermore, it was also indicated that just 61% of 6 to 11-year-old children regularly attend primary school. Some states in the northeast and northwest of the country have more than half of the girls not enrolled in school. Now, this was the situation before the COVID. With the COVID now, this group of people, together with those that go to school, this compounded really the problem. This is evident that there was a crisis in our education system even before the pandemic, but the global crisis witnessed in 2019 today has worsened the situation in Nigeria. This brings us to the post-COVID era. We have seen the COVID period. Now, what of the post-COVID era? Otherwise, the current period that we are now in, as influenced by the previous period. The post-COVID era. This refers to the period after the lockdown imposed on people and business relaxed by the government. It is the period in which lockdowns were lifted by various governments around the world, resulting to people engaging in their daily routines, the usual way or through some data or unique ways. Some of such unique ways are often characterized by the application of technological tools to enhance efficiency, which was tagged as new normal. As an expression, the term new normal has emerged in the field of business to question the belief of economists that industrial economies will revert to normal after the recession. The term has since been used in different contexts to mean a state to which an economy, society, education, what have you, settle following a crisis when this differs from the situation that prevailed before the start of the crisis. This implies that the world is currently in a state of new normal. In education sector in particular, the COVID-19 pandemic brought about unprecedented disruptions that impacted every level of education, including early childhood care and development education, primary or basic education, secondary or basic or post-basic education, technical education, and tertiary or higher education. Some of the serious disruptions caused by the pandemic affected the classroom instruction, assessment and evaluation of students, brought about a digital divide, heightened educational inequities, degenerated some students' mental health, and involving certain pedagogical challenges, among others. In response to these devastating consequences, educators and policymakers worldwide were compelled to take measures to ensure learning continuity. Some of these measures included, but not limited, to the adoption of digital learning platforms, as indicated by the previous speaker, the creation of educational content for remote delivery, and the development of strategies to bridge the digital divide. These recent developments underscore the relevance of pedagogy and prompted its necessary shift in educational paradigm. Effective pedagogy proved to be the guiding light in this tumultuous period, as educators had to restructure in order to sustain student interest and participation in classroom activities. It paved better ways for educators to navigate the digital landscape and choose appropriate technologies that enhance learning. Thus, pedagogy stands as a force of effective education. Its importance lies in its capacity to foster a deep understanding of learners' needs, engage students in meaningful ways, and equip them with skills for a long life. According to UNESCO, sustainable pedagogy education empowers students to make informed decisions and responsible actions to ensure economic viability, just society, and environmental integrity, while respecting cultural diversity for the present and future generations. The pedagogy education is expected to be impactful, provided the educators and students adapt to the new pedagogical concepts and modes of delivery of teaching, for which they may or not have been trained. This logically brings us to the fundamental question of the imperative of an impactful pedagogy for sustainable education in Nigeria, which is the thrust of this presentation. So the first aspect of this paper is the imperative of impactful pedagogy in the post-COVID era for sustainable education in Nigeria. There is need to explain even briefly the terms impactful pedagogy, education, and sustainable education. These are the three salient points as far as this issue is concerned. In this context, impactful pedagogy is simply synonymous with effective pedagogy, and it is a pedagogy that has a significant and beneficial impact on the learning results, engagement, and general development of students. It aims at empowering students to acquire not just knowledge, but also critical thinking skills, problem-solving talents, and personal growth. On the other hand, the word education, which you all know, is variously defined, is differently defined. In the context of this presentation, it is simply referred to as an organized knowledge acquired in schools for the purpose of improving the life of human beings and the society to which they belong. The term sustainability has its roots in the word sustain, which is synonymous with other concepts like uphold, maintain, perpetuate, preserve, etc., etc. The Oxford Language Dictionary defines sustainability as the ability to continue to be continued, to continue or be continued for a long time. In other words, it means what people want to happen indefinitely. Another scholar is of the view that the term sustainability is a model of thinking in which the quality of life is improved through balancing the environment, society, and the economy, while education is an activity or process for acquiring or sharing knowledge or skills, developing the powers of reasoning and judgment, and intellectual preparing oneself or others for life. The concept of sustainable education is a combination of the terms sustainable and education, which is defined by Stanley as follows: a change of educational culture, one which develops and embodies the theory and practice of sustainability in a way which is critically aware. It is therefore a transformative paradigm which values, sustains, and realizes human potential in relation to the need to attain and sustain social, economic, and ecological well-being, recognizing that they must be part of the future. I have only 5 minutes. I'll go on. Now, let me just move quickly to this last aspect of it. Now, sustainable education implies 4 descriptors: educational policy and practice, which is sustainable, tenable, healthy, and durable for future generations. Now, the characteristics of sustainable education are also listed in pages 13, 14, and the rest. Then we also have key considerations for developing impactful pedagogies for sustainable education in the following states. There are so many considerations: assessment, blending technology, continuous professional development, learning soft skills, global and cultural awareness, hybrid learning, inclusive education, personalized instruction, project-based experimental learning, well-being and social-emotional learning. These are considerations as far as issue is concerned. Now, quickly, we move to the challenges, which is very important as far as this issue is concerned. What are the challenges? The federal government of Nigeria referred to the Nigerian education system as an instrument by excellence necessary for social construction, reconstruction, and national transformation within the Nigerian society. Thus, the Nigerian education system is an important factor towards meeting the goals of the national economic empowerment and development strategy needs: education for all, millennium development goals, and the sustainable development goals. Furthermore, the specific goals and objectives of the national Nigerian education system are clearly enumerated in the National Policy on Education. Nonetheless, realization of all these objectives and national development programs demands equal access to qualitative educational opportunities for all citizens at all levels of education, both within and outside the formal school system. Another factor of great importance toward attainment of the set goals is the need for an impactful pedagogy. However, some of the major hindrances to achieving this in Nigeria, and which may impede the successful attainment of the desired educational goals, include, though not limited to the following: poor or inadequate accessibility to modern electronic devices and digital device, teaching large class, funding. Specifically, let me mention this issue of funding. This is one of the most serious problems confronting the Nigerian education system. The annual budgetary allocation to education is abysmally low. In 2018, for instance, only 7.0% was allocated to education, which is far less than UNESCO recommendation of 15 to 26. Hence, the incessant national strike action by various unions and tertiary institutions in the country and attendant destruction of academic activities, as indicated by the previous speaker. Other major challenges include lack of necessary ICT infrastructure or facilities, lack of reliable internet connectivity, poor power supply, inadequate video conferencing facilities, lack of adequate technical know-how or skills among both the text teachers and students, non-compliance with virtual classroom ethics on the part of the students, defective or faulty infrastructure due to poor maintenance culture, and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, conclusion. From the foregoing discussion, it is obvious that the use of modern technology and artificial intelligence will significantly affect the way teaching and learning are done. This implies that the post-COVID-19 era will compel teachers to learn how to use the modern technology for pedagogical activities, such as preparation of course materials, delivering of online teaching, setting of continuous assessment and examination, etc., etc. Similarly, students need to know how to join their virtual classroom, do assessments, take examinations, write and submit their projects without any difficulty. Thus, cultivating an impactful pedagogy in the post-COVID-19 era for sustainable education in Nigeria requires teachers' competence and effective instruction techniques. Other issues of virtual learning, such as strong ICT infrastructure, reliable power supply, availability and access to internet and affordable data, abundant electronic resources, easy access to laptop, broadband network in both cities and remote areas need to be seriously considered. Another essential requirements also include adequate and sustained funding, creation, control, and effective management of the learning environment. abundant electronic resources, adequate broadband access, and regular training for both educators and students on computer skills and technical know-how of modern electronic devices. Breaking the digital divide not only between villages and cities, but also between the rich and the indigenous communities. To achieve all this, there is the need for concerted efforts by government and all stakeholders in the education sector so as to guarantee quality education that will equip the students with the knowledge and skill necessary in the 21st century and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman, this is the end of the paper. I wish and hope that this presentation is made. I also want to acknowledge the contributions of my colleagues who have actually facilitated the production of this paper. My PG students, my colleagues in the Department of Lab and Information Science, who actually contributed in one way or the other. In particular, to Kudrat, my HOD, and my other students that are far away from here, Maribel University, Maru Musa Radua, who also shared with me this particular area. I really acknowledge the contribution. I once again thank the faculty and the organizing committee for giving me this golden opportunity. I would have said no, but when I look at the face of the dean, I could not say no. The dean, I really thank you. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. I think we can do better for our lead paper presenter, Professor A. Balarde. We are grateful. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir, while the proceeding is on, I notice the arrival of our father, Professor Ibrahim Galadima. So please, let's appreciate him. If you want to hear ANOVA, Rush model, structural equation modeling, please meet him after the lecture. I also recognize the presence of my teacher, Professor Y.M. Kamar. You're welcome, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir, before we call on the Chairman Local Organizing Committee for Board of Thanks, I will want to crave your indulgence, sir, the Vice Chancellor. Vice Chancellor, sir. So I will want to crave your indulgence to come and present a certificate of appreciation to these two people that did presentation. Thank you, sir. As he comes, let me invite the keynote presenter.
Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of my Vice Chancellor, Professor L.S. Bilbis, I wish to present this certificate to the Associate Professor that presented the keynote address in person of Dr. M.A. Jumari. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your wonderful presentation. And may Allah continue to guide you in your academic pursuit and all life endeavors. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We will also invite the lead paper presenter.
On behalf of my Vice Chancellor, Professor Lawal Suleiman Bilbis, I wish to present this certificate of appreciation to the lead paper presenter, Professor A.A. Balarabe, the librarian of Federal University Building Kebbi. Sir, we are grateful. May Allah continue to guide you and protect all of us We really appreciate. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. We are so grateful. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. Let me at this point invite the Chairman Local Organizing Committee of this great 8th Annual Conference of the Mother Faculty, and at the same time who doubles to be the Director of Appellate Programs of this university in person of Professor Inwa, to come for his board of thanks. Professor Inwa, sir. Director, sir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله The Vice Chancellor, sir, ably represented by Professor M.G. Mohuta, teacher, my mentor, and presently the BVC Academy of this great institution. Sir, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. As I have to say thank you, but I would have loved to call names one after the other, but it is true that time will not permit that. That is one. And convincingly again, there are no words I can use to appreciate and thank people, thank the participants, thank the keynote presenter, thank the lead paper presenter, thank the organizing committee, thank the security members, thank the ICT committee, and so on and so forth. Therefore, the only thing we are going to do to sum up everything here is to call on God Almighty to guide you, increase you in your wisdom, patience, resources, and at the same time say, may whatever we are doing be blessed. And may God lead us all to what we want and what we desire that is fruitful and is going to be productive to our community, our society. We at this junction say thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. And may God, in his ultimate mercy, lead us homes peacefully. May our country live to our expectation. So long live Nigerian, long live Sokoto State, long live Danfodiyo University, Sokoto. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Please and please, let us be patient with ourselves and let us understand that everybody here is important and everybody's contribution is necessary. So everybody, please, should be patient with us and at the same time, please contribute in whatever way, direct or indirect, so as to make our conference to be successful and to make our institution to be great. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're welcome once again. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Daddy. Thank you very much, the LOC chair, Professor Inwa. Now, we have come to the close of today's, this morning event, but then, as the presenter says, this is just to stimulate discussion. By 2:30, according to our program, the syndicate groups will commence here. So please, members, after prayers and lunch, and maybe brief rest, you come back here by 2:30 for the commencement of syndicate paper presentations, please. Professor, okay, we'll take closing prayer. Professor Jagaba is not here. Okay. Nagatashi, I thought you have come, sorry.
Okay, we are preparing.
Please, okay, the dean instructed me to announce one more time that all syndicate group will take place in this auditorium. To have provision for other small rooms around the auditorium. Thank you very much. So the dean instructed me to say that all syndicate group will take place here. So please, after prayers, lunch, and brief rest, come back here by 2:30 to commence the syndicate group. We are projecting the groups here, so take note of your group where you belongs, and then by the time we come here, you will just find your group here. We have another provision of another room somewhere within this auditorium. So we are going to use strictly this place for today. It's tomorrow that maybe we will have to split and go back to other venues within the faculty. So thank you very much. I also was instructed to recognize the presence of all head of departments from the Faculty of Education and Extension Services. All head of departments, you are welcome, please. Head educational foundations, curriculum, adult education, library, and information science, as well as science and vocational education. You are most welcome. And I think I have done my own part on this note. I will call on our father, Professor, okay, before the closing prayer again. All right, thank you very much. Okay, please, there are a lot of corrections to be made. This document will be withdrawn. Another one will be projected in due course, please. Thank you. May I call on our father, Professor M. Jagaba, to come and give us the closing prayer so that we can go and take and pray and have our lunch before we resume back. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, members of the high table, for your patience. Thank you for coming around. We're grateful. We wish us a very fruitful conference. Thank you.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. Allah, we pray to you to continue to guide us, support our dean, the heads of departments of this faculty, Mr. Vice Chancellor and his team, all the staff and students. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide us and give us success in this university and the other universities. This conference, those who have come from far and wide, we pray to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to take them back to their destinations, particularly our guest speaker, who has come all the way from Zaria, and the lead paper presenter, who has come all the way from Kebbi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala return them back to their family and reward them abundantly. Allah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Malik Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. اللهم حسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة. اللهم ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم عن ساداتنا ابي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن الصحابه اجمعين وعن التابعين وتابعيهم باحسان الى يوم الدين. سبحان ربك رب العزه عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد.
Thank you, our ICT. Please, by 2:30, we are meeting here for the syndicate groups. Please. Thank you.
Hi. Ake jiya ta daga.
Do you know that the computer I gave you, they said they stole it. Online, no, I told you, it's computer for the journey. The caliber and the person and yesterday I told you, because I went there, and when I saw the computer, I said, I go back it. So,
Because
I
keep
told
your
you,
advice.
don't keep
You
it in
don't know what you're
your
going
office.
to
I said, you know, it's okay.
Yeah, we're not getting
Now,
that much she was screaming.
Serious, he told me.
Refreshing.
Put it to the thing. I said, okay. This is how, see, look, it's very straightforward.
I said, you didn't go back now.
Yes. If difficulty can do. If not, then.
So, like,
That matter.
without even telling them that I want to go.
Even I then here.
Thank you, Tom.
But then I will talk to them. Again, I knew that is why sometimes I go to the office and I this is what I'm taking it home. Yeah, I'm going to let's know that the computers are approaching. I don't think I can channel.
So instead of only chicken, I got on the
Yeah. Just tell them to Hi, man.
How quick has been?